Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. And that must mean that I am Professor Robert E. G. Black, and this is the Groundhog Day Project.
It's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
It's a thing where the same day keeps happening.
Time.
I wake up every day right here, right in Punxsutawney, and it's always February 2nd.
The last revision is what counts, apparently.
Well, it's Groundhog Day again. We're on minute 79 of Groundhog Day, in which Phil is being a better man and learning how to play the piano and sculpting ice angels. We finished minute 78. He was talking to Chubby Man one more time in the hallway. Chubby Man says, "You think it's going to be an early spring?" We come in the middle of that sentence in this minute. And I like that Phil grabs his arms. Like, the only way Phil could make this even more of like a joyous, memorable experience for Chubby Man. Wait, Chubby Man has a name. It's Jonathan. Wait, did I get that from the musical, or is that in copy of the script? I was talking about names last minute, in case for some reason you're listening to minute 79 and didn't listen to minute 78. Chubby Man character's name is technically Jonathan. That might come from the musical, though. Which means, I trust it because it doesn't contradict the movie. But also, this is the last time we're going to see him, so who cares? The only way he could have made it more memorable and exciting and more like European, cosmopolitan, metrosexual, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, fancy, is if he had like kissed him on the cheek, or both cheeks, afterward. Instead, he grabs him, he holds him close, and is like, "Winter, slumbering in the open air, wears on his smiling face a dream of spring. Ciao." And Chubby Man's like, "Ciao." He's like, he is taken aback, he is in love with this moment. Oof. He's feeling this. Before Phil leaves, I gotta jump in because I realized I don't know that I ever actually wrote about this poem. Phil's quoting a poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. I don't think I ever wrote about it in a blog. I didn't make it to this minute in the previous seasons of this show, so I don't know that I've actually talked about it. It's not that long. I'll read it to you. It's called Work Without Hope. All nature seems at work. Slugs leave their lair. The bees are stirring, birds are on the wing, and winter, slumbering in the open air, wears on his smiling face a dream of spring. And I, the while, the sole unbusy thing, nor honey make, nor pair, nor build, nor sing. Yet well I ken the banks where amaranths blow, have traced the fount whence streams of nectar flow. Bloom, O ye amaranths, bloom for whom ye may, for me ye bloom not. Glide rich streams away, with lips unbrightened, wreathless brow, I stroll. And would you learn the spells that drowse my soul? Work without hope draws nectar in a sieve, and hope without an object cannot live. Interesting. I'm looking at the analysis on poemanalysis.com, because I'm not familiar with this poem, and as I said, I never wrote about it. In the first section of the poem, the speaker is out in an undefined natural environment. It is here that he observes all manner of life around him. This life, including bees, birds, and plants, is all working toward independent goals. The birds sing, and the bees make honey. He is the sole, unbusy element in this forest. In the second stanza, the speaker comes to terms with the fact that he is contributing nothing to his own life, and that his presence in the world is not enough. The flowers will not bloom simply because he is there. He is being consumed by drowsiness of mind due to his lack of direction. He has no hopes to work towards, nor any real object to set his mind on. I can't believe I never wrote about it, because that is very appropriate. Phil was the unbusy thing, even though he probably thought otherwise. Phil leaves. Leaves him there, but Chubby Man is looking like he is ready for the day. He is happy. He is solidly in a good mood. Phil has done a good deed, and he hasn't even gotten downstairs yet. Well, he got down one floor from his room. I forget the name offhand, but this is a Coleridge poem, I believe, that Phil is quoting here.
Weird. I do not remember knowing that.
So he has been doing some reading. He has been actually paying attention to things. He's not just random song lyrics. He probably doesn't randomly know a Coleridge poem. So we go from hallway to Gobbler's Knob. Or, well, I keep saying Gobbler's Knob in my notes, in the transcript, as the location heading. Technically, I think Gobbler's Knob is only the southwest corner of the square, where it has the little mound on the stage. But we're in the town square. We are, in particular, at more the northwest corner, because the building behind it is the courthouse, where, for example, Jake was parked when Buster yelled for him to join in the car chase. He took Phil, we're going after him. Jake is parked over there. Inside the courthouse is where the bar is that we see, although in the movie it is supposed to be inside the Pennsylvania Hotel. And Phil's jail cell is in there. And where he changes the flat tire is over to the right on the side of that building. Phil is carving with a chainsaw. He's carving the base of an ice sculpture. There is another ice sculpture in the back we can't really see. We only see the base of it. But it doesn't seem like anyone is currently working on it. It would have been cool to see other people sculpting at the same time, like Phil is participating in the competition. But I don't think he is participating in the competition. I think he's just kind of doing this for fun, as it were. In Rubens' original, of course, he learns how to carve stone. But ice actually works better thematically, not just because it's winter, and it gives us like that winter cold theme, but also an ice sculpture doesn't last forever. The process is more important than the result. Like a mandala, the, sand art, where you create this complex image out of sand and then it just gets destroyed after. You make a complex ice sculpture of an angel, unless you have a large refrigerated place to keep it, it's melting soon. Maybe not soon if it stays outside, as we've seen when Phil walked past them after the series of slaps earlier. The ice sculptures from the day's contest were still in the town square, and Phil walked past them. If he was in the competition, there should be groundhog sculptures here, and he should be sculpting a groundhog. But he is sculpting an angel, and if anything, the wings are actually fairly impressive, because I think if he started with like a pillar of ice, he would have had to melt those into place. I don't know how you do that. I haven't learned ice sculpting. For the cynical take on what Phil actually learns in the film, ice sculpting is the best measure you have for an actual amount of time Phil's been in the loop. Because we don't really know that he learns how to play the piano. He plays 2 songs. I think it's safe to assume he learned how to play the piano because we're in this final act. We can assume he's actually doing these things that he is doing. Even if you think it takes learning French to be able to recite one line from a Belgian song, I don't think it's safe to assume that Phil learned French for that scene, because that scene was during the date night sequence at the end of the adolescent phase of Phil's time loop journey. So it is not a safe assumption that he actually learned it. He got the minimum, just like having Baudelaire that he could read to Rita. It doesn't really matter if he can read it until Rita demands it. So he didn't have to actually learn how to read it. He didn't have to learn, I already said the piano thing. We only hear him play 2 songs, but I think it's safe to assume he learns piano. But it is definitely a thing that we know he can sculpt. We see him here sculpting this ice angel, and I think the editing of the scene, cutting in as he's already carving on something and then he's touching up something, feels like, okay, production-wise, it feels like Bill Murray didn't do shit. They're like, yeah, stick the chainsaw in the edge down here and then just kind of smooth out something on the side, make it look like you're doing something. But in the scene, I think we're supposed to assume Phil has sculpted this. Plus, at the end of the movie, we know, because if he didn't, Rita would have noticed, that he sculpts the snow version of Rita's face. So, how long does it take to learn how to ice sculpt? This detail of the sculpture? I don't know. I don't even know how to find out. I guess I'd contact someone who sculpts ice and ask them. I could contact the guy who sculpted this. I think, if I remember right, the guy who actually sculpted the ice stuff for this he's in this scene, is the guy with the fringe jacket, I think. He's over at the fence watching. I might be wrong about that. There are articles about him. I know his name. Or no, I don't know his name. I have access to his name. But there's articles about him sculpting these things. And if I could find contact info for him, I could ask. Except I really shouldn't, because I'm so adamant about how it doesn't matter how long Phil is in the time loop. He gets what everyone else gets. He gets a lifetime. Rita and Larry are watching, and Rita's like, Phil. He's like, Rita, hi. Hey, Larry. Hi, how's she look? And Rita's like, great. He says, thank you. Then we get a closer shot of Larry and Rita's like, did you know he could ice sculpt? No. And I think the music comes in before we get the cut. Before this minute ends, we cut to Mary's house again, Phil at the piano, chewing bubblegum, which you should not be doing while playing piano. It's going to mess with your timing. Unless you can actually time the chewing. But he's not. He's just being silly. I like this moment because I like this music. This is Variations on a Theme by Paganini by Rachmaninoff. It is a song used repeatedly in Somewhere in Time, which is a fantastic singular time loop movie. It's not a repeating time loop. What's that called? A closed loop time travel movie. Which I think is the reason this music is what they chose, is because Somewhere in Time. But I've never found confirmation of that. It's more an assumption on my part. I like this music. I like that this is the song they use here, and then it's prepping us for like 15 minutes from now when he plays this again and then jazzes it up. But I also don't like this scene. We are on the 31st iteration of February 2nd, by the way, when we cut to this, because it is definitely not the same day he's ice sculpting. I guess it could be. Oh no, it could be. Why did I put day 31 here? Yeah. Minimum day count, this doesn't have to be a separate day from the ice sculpting just now. Because we don't know what time of day it is. We don't know what time of day it just was. I think, actually we don't have any indication. I was going to say, I think we can assume the ice sculpting's in like the afternoon, but the prognostication is at 7:20. Ice sculpting could be at 9 or 8. We don't know. Could be still morning, which means then he could make it to Mary's house later in the same day. So this isn't necessarily a new day. So my numbers are actually off by 1 now. My minimum numbers. But really, the numbers don't matter, as I've said many times. I just have the numbers in here so I can kind of follow the structure in the film. Phil is playing, and the reason I don't like this scene, I like it because the music. I like it because it's funny that he's chewing gum. I don't like it because Harold Ramis and... hitting a blank on the actress's name who's playing Mary. She's another, improv comedian from Chicago, so she's someone who knows these people. And I think she might even be in some other Harold Ramis movie. I don't remember what else she's in, and I'm not looking it up right now.
Her name, by the way, is Peggy Rader, Roeder. She is apparently mostly a stage actress, and I don't see anything about her being a improv person. I think I was conflating her with Mrs. Lancaster and Doris. But that means the choice I'm about to describe is probably just Harold Ramis's doing, suggesting this. Guy loves broad comedy.
Between Harold Ramis and her, a couple improv comedians, they love a big reaction. Just like when Harold Ramis had his cameo as the neurologist, he did the dramatic, leaning in and pausing for the punchline. You know what you need, Mr. Connors? Leans in. A psychiatrist. Ba-dum-bum. You need the whole drum thing to follow it up. Her reaction to Phil's bad playing here is over the top, exaggerated, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan of this kind of comedy. Because I feel like it would be funnier if she just kind of winced. There are realistic ways to wince at bad music. I'm doing it, but you can't see me. Not this. She's doing the weird contorted face and tilting her head, and she does multiple winces in a row. And it's not every note is bad. They're just notes. They're the wrong notes, but it's not it's too exaggerated and over the top, and I don't like it. But maybe that tells us something about Mary as a person. Why she's such a braggart later. Wait a second. Never mind half of what I just said. I'm getting confused by my own notes because my lack of detailed notes, because I'm not taking notes on the minute as I'm watching it. I'm just getting into it, and I realized this is wrong. She's not wincing at him playing Rachmaninoff. He's playing Rachmaninoff nicely. She's wincing before that. That's why I have an extra day here, because before the ice sculpting scene is when we see him playing piano badly, and she's doing all the exaggerated stuff. So I don't like that scene. I do like the scene at the end of this minute. There are two different piano scenes in this minute, and talking a lot, I lost track, and because the notes don't detail that, because there's no dialogue in the piano scene, I should have had an interior Marys here, even though there's no dialogue. That's the problem with just using the transcript. If my notes file was more complete, I'd be using that, and it would actually break down what's happening, but I'm just using a transcript of dialogue that has some tags for the locations and a day count, and that's it. So yeah, first piano scene in this minute I don't like. Second piano scene I really like, although we barely see it. We hear the music. It's panning across the piano, I think, as the minute ends. Yeah, I was conflating two things I had just watched. This is what lack of prep does. Also, too much prep. I've seen this movie so many times that things blend together sometimes. Anyway, I don't know, go learn how to play an instrument, or if you know how to play an instrument, go play it. Or if you no longer have that instrument, go listen to someone else playing it. Go enjoy some music. Go read a book. Go watch a movie. Go watch some TV. Go spend time with your loved ones, your family, your friends, whatever. Resist the oppressive forces of the world. Make the world a better place.
You knew you were going to say that.
This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops.
What is wrong in the end which never comes? Or which comes again and again, lapping, like waves.
Since the Big Bang set everything in motion, everything that happens in this universe has to be the way it is. Particles unfolding the way they're destined to.
How do you sleep at night? You've never seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah, you know Groundhog Day is not a documentary.
Remember when Groundhog Day was just a movie?